So, I've been thinking about this for a while, just in the guise of the Oilers and like Toronto, right? So you look at Toronto, and I think Toronto's problem is a mental thing, right? So they have this, it's a mental thing. They just can't get over themselves. They can't get over that hump. And Edmonton's problem isn't that they're paying their two best players too much. Because listen, if Connor McDavid was on the market, I would pay him $20 million.
Yeah, he's proven.
Okay, and there you go. Colorado wins.
Somehow, Connor McDavid makes about 11-8 a year, I think.
He makes 12.5.
He's underpaid.
Yeah, he's underpaid. He makes 12.5. And that's the crazy thing is, like, if you just take Connor McDavid and you literally just get an analytics team to come in, like, could you imagine Connor McDavid on like an analytics boy toy nerd squad team being like, yeah, we got Jonathan Bernier net for a cool $1.9 million, you know? Just, totally. And it'd be fine. But this Edmonton Oilers team, like these people that were in my mentions just getting so upset and just like being super defensive and stuff. I'm like, he's getting there and understanding that, oh, we got here because of me. And there's nothing coming to now support me in the back, because now, like, you're paying Duncan Keith another year. Cody Ceci got burned on the Nathan McKinnon goal. Okay, how you're gonna go get a goalie? Okay, how are you gonna go get a goalie? You're gonna pay
There's
for
nothing
John
to
Gibson.
replenish.
John Gibson's gonna come up.
Gave up all those picks.
You gave up all those picks, and you're hemorrhaging. It's like, what are you gonna do? You just paid Tyson Barrie, and then Evan Bouchard replaced Tyson Barrie on BP1. It's like, you just got Boytoid, and okay. And people are going to be like, oh, injuries. Yeah, injuries. Injuries were the thing. You would have taken this Colorado Avalanche team to 6 and won it in 6 if it wasn't for injuries. No, you're fundamentally flawed. You have two of the world's best players masking a multitude of horrendous managerial decisions and choices. And the best player in the world is going to get to a point where he's just going to be like, yeah, this is too much.
I'm really curious to see how, like, he's an animatronic robot. Nobody knows what he thinks or if he thinks or emotes or feels. But I'm really curious to see how he comes out of this. Like, he calls his own shots. I get that. He can get mad at the goaltending that was given to him, and that's fair. Mike Smith wasn't bad at all. He just let in really bad goals at the worst possible time.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough because Leon Draisaitl's on one leg. Evander Kane currently still banned.
It is, but it's like, just like the Canucks, this shouldn't be this hard. Like, listen, they traded 2 seconds for Andreas Athanasiou. Right? It isn't hard to pay. You just have to pay for the right pieces. Look at Colorado. They went, did they give up a second and Justin Barron for Arturi Lehkonen? Yeah, but now Arturi Lehkonen is ripping it up for them. He's an analytics darling. He's an RFA. Brandon Hagel, you look at Brandon Hagel. Okay, did Tampa give up 2 firsts? Yeah. They also got 2 fourths back, knowing that they can mine gold out of nowhere and develop players. But this really should not be this difficult. Like, it's crazy. It's nuts how Ken Holland, for the longest time, had Hall of Fame players around him in Detroit, carried by Nicholas Lidstrom, then is put in a position of Hockey Canada where it's like you get a pool of the best players on earth, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, everything he touches turns to gold. He's a genius. And
he decided
Ken Holland,
he decided he'd put Joe Thornton on the 4th line. What a genius.
Bob Nicholson, Ken Holland, Kevin Lowe, these guys can do no wrong. They're hockey royalty. No, dude, like, if someone took me and put me at the head of McDonald's, and they're like, well, everything's already here, how much do you want to charge for fries? I'll be like, I don't know, 5 cents more. Genius! We just made $50 billion more. Oh my God, he's a wonderkind.
It's these fresh ideas we need around here.
These are the fresh ideas we need around here. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with Edmonton, man. I just think, like, my dad was like, felt so bad for Connor McDavid. He just
Yeah.
kept telling me, he's like, I just feel bad for McDavid.
Yeah.
I just feel, and when my father's having sympathy for an Edmonton Oiler, that tells you another thing. So Mike Smith lets in this goal. The
Yep.
thing about Mike Smith, God bless him, in his 40s, is that it's not that, we say, he's keeping them in the game. Mike Smith makes these saves that he's a fugazi, he's a fugazi, he's a woozy, it's a wazi, it's a fairy dust. He makes these crazy acrobatic, oh my God, saves because the man is just completely out of position and flopping all the time that he needs to do those things.
Well, Rash, he has to dart from the sideboards back into his net when he plays a puck incorrectly, and everything goes haywire, and he has to do he throws himself like he's, taking a bullet for the president.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, is Landeskog going to touch is he going to touch it?
They're all coming to get,
they deserve it. They did great.
Yeah, that's the new thing. I don't think they're going to touch it.
They got too much superstition. Jack Johnson going to a Stanley Cup final.
Good for him.
Good for him. Good for the Johnsons. Good for Jack Johnson. You know what? Jack Johnson's been through some shit.
It's hard to knock, the life he's had and the people that took advantage of him absolutely stink. He goes to Pittsburgh and kind of gets the short end of the stick and labeled as, Sidney Crosby's friend that gets a payday. And he's had a long career, a tough career, and all the power to him. Get a ring. Ride these young coattails. Ride them to the top.
And rest in peace, redacted Evander Doink out of the playoffs. Wow.
It's funny. I was doing, for all the listeners, I take my Sundays for the betterment to make myself sound smarter and learn it. I go through the news and notes online and put together a little rundown, and like everything on Reddit/hockey was Evander Kane suspended. A look at the Evander Kane hit. Here's what Evander Kane did. Here's the surgery that Nazem Kadri is going to get because of Evander Kane. That's they had their karma game in Game 3. I couldn't think of a dumber move to do right after you finally get a lead in Game 3, the first time in the playoffs. Connor McDavid, the guy that does everything for you, gets a goal 38 seconds into the game. The one thing you've needed for the last 120 minutes of hockey, and then 18 seconds later, whatever it is, you cross-check. You do the one thing you were taught at literally 5 years old not to do, and the dumbest possible thing, and it didn't result in a flurry of goals on that major, but the suspension was there, and the motivation was there to take care of business. And
yeah,
I look forward to, maybe, I don't know about you, but I don't think that Evander Kane did anything to get some sort of elaborate big payday out of the points he got.